My name
Hello.
is Sasha Begovic. I'm one of the principal partners of 3LHD Architects from Zagreb, Croatia. We found our office 24 years ago in 1994. Um, we are now office of 45 people with many projects around, mainly in our country in Croatia, but also some projects abroad. We are actually partnership of architects, but we also have in the office graphic designers, CGI experts, and also what is important to say that office is from the beginning we are working on a very diverse typologies from small projects like interiors, family houses, um, apartments units until to the public projects, open squares, sports halls, and recently we are much involved, or actually I would say 60 or 70% of our office is in so-called hospitality area or hospitality and leisure area. So we are doing a lot of hotel and projects in tourism. That's the main focus. We are very collaborative office, and we are working on a basis of founding or making collaborative teams of different experts, and yeah, that will be kind of a
Yeah.
introduction.
Okay.
I'm not talking about all the projects because you can all see the projects on the website. Okay.
Okay. Hello to all my friends in this good day. And we have Sasa that Bergovic that he has presented himself. He's from Croatia, and in this day we will talk about the Summit Center, right?
Yes, one of our projects from, well, now I would say almost 6 or 10 years ago. Yeah.
Yeah, 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Okay, it will be a great adventure to see this project. Maybe you
Mhm.
can help us to share it.
Okay. So I'll try. I start the presentation. First of all, I would say that we did a lot of in those days, 10 years ago. We did a lot of different scale of sports projects, sports objects, or sports facilities. I would say, which range from. I will go to the sharing screen and start a project, which I think it's important to say that we did a projects which are a lot of on a lot of different scale and a different kind of cities, small, big, medium, and all of those projects that we actually realized, those sports hall, were somehow connected to the city, actually to the city in a way that they are kind of extension of the public space, and also they are serving not only as a sports object or sports halls, but also as commercial facilities and so on. So this is a city of Rijeka. It's the second largest port, or actually the biggest port in Croatia, but also one of the biggest city on the coast, and it's old city of very stretched, as you can see on this slide. And the city is of course on the sea coast, a very long coast, and there is also interesting thing that behind this main urban core there is the mountains, but as a city is stretched, there is a lot of neighborhoods, and one of those neighborhoods is called the Zamet. That's the name of the why this is a Zamet Center.
Okay, that's
So
why it is called Summit Center.
Zamet is a local, I would say, a very old name of this area. There is no meaning exact meaning, but and I'm showing. Can you see the second slide of this? I'm just checking that there's this. Can you see the
Yes,
slide?
it works. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So as you can see, this circle. This is a neighborhood where there you have a housing skyscrapers have a different kind of typologies of housing. On the top of the screen there is a football field, local football club Rijeka. So this neighborhood of Zamet is I would say 20,000 people is kind of uh, uh, the neighborhood is numbering of 20,000 people. So there is a need. There was a need to make kind of a square sports or a multi-purpose arena or sports hall, some commercial retail facilities, and some part of the library, and that's why this is called a center, not a sports center, but center. So as you can see, this is the area which actually goes down towards the sea, and the main thing is this was. Of course, there is on the right side, this red roof is a school. There is also some kindergartens. So this is the area which is actually really green, but also an area which is steep, kind of, which actually for us um, help us to form the I would say the concept. I will little bit skip this two or three slides. I'll go back to this development and to show you this area. Before it was, as you can see, this is very neglected area, kind of. They were planning actually for 20 years this area for this kind of project. So exact site is this. Now we turn around, so the south is down on the down on the slide, and this is the area which I already told you that this is oriented towards the lower street kind of, but also you have an access from the upper street. So this was kind of an end or a site zone, and as you can see, um, can I show? I don't know. So as you can see, there was a from the competition there was. Kind of a site analysis, which actually really completely follow the urban facts, because they ask for some kind of multi-purpose sports hall, some commercial areas, and this small square, which is kind of a main gathering for the neighborhood. Um, uh, this conceptual slide shows this inclination and actually stretching the terrain from upper side with the school park and this main street. And for us, this was a kind of a main feature for the concept. This slide shows actually really strict urban regulations. So on the right side, you need to have a sports school, a sports hall or a multi-purpose hall. These small boxes were meant to be retail, local government kind of unit, library, and this red carpet is supposed to be kind of a square. So this was first actually urban facts. Uh, we thought because they are little they're completely laid in kind of bands. We were thinking that this stretching from north to south is important, and actually the connection from the upper height level to the down is really important to have those communication all the way. Another things was that this bands of programmatic things that were actually given to us to actually try to make it architecture of it, because one thing is that we wanted to connect all those areas, and not only from upper upper height to the upper level to the lower level, but also in the other way, so perpendicular to this bands of programmatic elements. And then of course we try to reorganize a little bit those given programmatic units. Of course, a sports hall or a multi-purpose hall as the biggest one, and when you put in and a little bit rearrange, we get some kind of undulated bands of functional, but also of surfaces actually. So that was this actually initial also idea that we inhabit those site and to inhabit this site, but also to have this connection with the stairs, which is also one of the features of the city of Rijeka, to have this lot of stairs because the city is on the steep terrain all the way.
Okay.
And
um,
yeah,
Sorry.
go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, you kind of answering this question. This is one of the question. Why having this form of triangle and square? We were
Uh,
looking at it. Yeah,
Triangle. What do you mean by triangle?
kind of triangle. It's not.
Kind of. But
Yeah,
well, as I told you, we wanted to, to make this program, which were really banal. There was a laid band of the programmatic elements, the square, so we actually from the urban plan, we had given, all the elements. So that's why we wanted to to make those bands of surface actually to go all the way to the roof, to the floor, to the street, to the square, and actually all the walls, ceiling or not ceiling, the roof and the surface to become the one thing, and that's kind of to make a unified appearance of this center, kind of, if I answering your question well. But the thing also is that when we did this, just a second, let me show you. So this, as you remember, when I showed you the urban planning, we actually get everything what was given for us from the square meters of the program, and those bands of terrain, which when they are going up and down, we are making those slots from the east and the west side, slots of glass, actually glazing, or entering the light actually into the either hall or a retail or a library. And for example, in the multi-purpose hall, this is kind of a shed roof, the roof which is actually getting light because you need this natural light in the sports hall, especially if that is a sports hall which people are using all day. So you're actually saving or putting daylight into it. But also the retail and other spaces get light from east and west side also. So there is only two elements of from conceptual side of the project, of this project. One is this surface which goes up and down, and another one is this glazed element. This is mainly channel glass, which actually is double glazing, opaque elements, which helps you actually to preserve the heat, but also to gain light into the units, into the objects. And also we wanted to introduce some greenery, as you can see. And there was one also question about these ramps which are going out, down and up. The first plan was actually, first idea was to put actually garage on the roof, but it was really complicated, so we dropped that. And below, underground of this whole area is a parking garage, so that's one thing that you cannot see immediately of that. um, yes, then yeah, there's the plans, but maybe just to explain also, when we decided that this is a one surface which should be or it is wall, roof, square surface, and so on. We wanted to achieve things which are kind of unifying element, and then we decided to go. I'm just showing on the beginning, sorry, I'm going back. um, we are going to I'm missing one slide, um, to the local stone walls, because this is an inclined area. There is always a retaining walls which actually help people to make terraces, so they are always done from the stone elements, and we were thinking that it would be nice that we use this image or of the stone walls, but we wanted to make kind of a natural but also a hard surface of that one unified surface. So we decided to make ceramic tiles specially designed for this area. And then we came to the, of course, software and to the computers and make kind of um, uh, pentagram, or what is this pentagram, which from four of pentagrams form one hexagram. Actually, in geometrics, in mathematics, this is called Cairo Cairo pattern. Sorry, which actually, when you apply it, and here you can see that when you apply this pentagram into this fourth hexagram, you make a one element which actually goes all over. So that was idea. Even designers of the graphic designers of the, there was a really important part also of the project. They use those shape of this pattern to sign this name Center Zamet, because around this area are skyscrapers, so you can from above, you can, or from airplane, you can see also the name. But what is important also, that this pattern, we also introduce four colors, four natural colors, as you can see, some kind of grays and brown and these elements, because we wanted to make kind of more close to the earth, to the natural stone look, I would say, or a coloring. And then, of course, when you do this element, so all the surface was done with only four colors, but only one element. Actually, this is this pentagram which shapes into this. Of course, on the staircases, we also introduced the rectangular, but this is only exception to the rule, that on the stairs we have this rectangular elements, but also on the same pattern and coloring of what we decided. Yes, you'll see this on the photos a little bit later. A little bit about the plans. I already told you, on the right side is a sports hall. It's a size of two handball court size. Deep into the ground on the north side are dressing rooms. This hall is actually can also has 2,300 seats, which can be completely, it's a completely retractable seats, so you can open it completely. Because mainly this is a training hall, and of course it can use people. You can use it also as sports for the sports events, but also there are a lot of events there as I don't know, some concerts, some car shows. There was a lot of fashion shows and so on. On a little bit on the left side, there is a main entrance and those facilities of reception and some cafes. And on the left side, there is a small county hall, I would say, for a local neighborhood. But also there is a shopping mall, small. Let's call it more. It's a retail shops than the shopping mall. Also, there is a library, local library, and some cafes, and in front of that is a main square, as I told you, as a main square for this new main square for this neighborhood. This is the second floor. In all of the halls, we did this kind of um, concourse around on the upper level around the tribunes, so and around on the floor. So when you open the tribunes or the stands, this is the open position when you have from two sides 2,300 seats. Well, that's actually what is it. There is a stories also of this left side, where there is retails and those library. What else? Maybe in the section you can see this. Actually, the section shows you what I was talking about of connecting the two height levels, because you can see those stairs, ramps, and other important things which are going down. Library, local government, and below it's a garage. Um, yeah.
Yes, in the section, it is important to see the structure of the building.
Yeah, yeah,
In
yeah.
the top.
You'll see a little bit later. I have photos from the building site. I'll show you.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll show you the materials, everything. This is the section from through the hall, through the hall, when you can see these retractable tribunes from both sides, so it can be completely closed, and then you have a big, really big hall. There is a steel construction. I'll tell you a little bit later. I'll show you a little bit later. Yeah, this is well plans. If you need something to ask, just please ask. But it's really simple. This is a garage zone, which actually it's helping also the neighborhood to achieve those always demanding needs for the parking. Site plan with all the entrances in and out around trees and so on. Again, section with the garage and tribunes. Then another sections. Yeah, this is the perpendicular. This is an interesting section actually, where you can see the steel construction of the whole of the multi-purpose school. A whole, you can see this steel girders, big frames, which actually goes up and down because we wanted to put light into the hole. You'll see,
Oh,
especially,
that's interesting.
yeah, you'll see also on the building side, but also when you are in the hole during the daylight, during the day, there is a really nice daylight into the building. So it's really important to have this daylight and actually saving energy, not to put only this artificial lighting. Those facades, as I told you, side facades from east and west are channel glass. Also, you'll see all those materials a little bit later. And yeah, and then I'll go very quickly to the site. So this is the excavation of this land. A lot of reinforcement of the for the concrete. This is a garage level. Of course, lower levels are always in concrete. Really simple, not nothing to concrete cast in place. Some of elements were prefabricated, but most of them are cast in place. So this is reinforced concrete all over the main opening, and then we are going up with a bigger, also concrete columns on the sides. You'll see a little bit later, and but on the west side of the project where those bands are, we completely go to the concrete elements because this was important to have those inclined ramps which are going down. And then there is a steel construction, as you can see up there, a really big span. I would say, let me see, 48, I would say, meters, which are pretty big, but also they were really simple in construction. There were lateral reinforcement also of them, but steel construction was completely logical because concrete will need to be much higher. But also we wanted to lighter element up there because we wanted to put light in. But this is actually what you are seeing now. It's main hole. Here you can see also that we also put the steel on a first bay of the hole, but also on the right side you can see this inclination because we wanted to. This bands are actually breaking down, so we also achieved this from the steel. It was really difficult to achieve the facade on that elements, but I'll show you a little bit later about that. Um, yeah, then there is again starting of the channel glass right in the middle, as you can see there, but we'll see a little bit later. Of course, the project in Croatia, we are doing a lot of things from concrete, from the reinforced concrete, but also we as an office are always forcing steel because we think with a steel you can achieve much more of expression of the construction, because with concrete you can have another expression of tectonic things, but in steel you can always have some other achieve other some other things. This is this steel mesh of this actually walls of from steel because, as you can see, there is a really important grid and also reinforcements in the lateral sides. This is the entrance to the towards the garage. Remember this side photo. I'll show you also a finished photo of that. Another photo of this really special steel construction. And actually, you can have here um, detail, which actually there is everything is explained there. I can send you that so everybody can study this, but it was also published.
Yes, yes, of
So,
course.
so
Many
yes,
people would be interested.
yeah, but it's not so difficult actually construction. But when you have a not having kind of a concrete full element, when you have a steel element, then you have other layers of which are important from ventilated cavities, subconstruction insulations, vapor barrier, and some other steels of that. But also this whole, as you will see afterwards in interior, has completely different interior of the house. It's completely from wood and wood wool acoustic panels and so on, and it's completely different atmosphere when you're going in. It's more like a living room of your house than of a sports hall. You'll see it a little bit later. This is this double channel glass elements because we wanted this center to have a lot of lights inside. So this was very important decision. But also we wanted to have it as only two elements as a conceptual or ideal to achieve this idea only with the two elements. This is the glaze and the ceramic tiles elements. Of course, the glass always has this transparency, opaque or non-transparent elements, and this was of course a beautiful surface. And here you can see those tiles. Uh, Actually, I have to say, a lot of people which come to see live are surprised with the exterior things because on the photos, this is something for your viewers and important. My message to the students are always that you have to see architecture one to one. Like this is a spatial experience. Architecture is architecture. You cannot explain it with the photos. Of course, photos can give you some impression or something, but in this especially in this project, it's unbelievable when it's a little bit different than not much different when you are alive and seeing this alive. So those are photos of this glaze and other elements. Again, main construction or this comparison of construction and this cladding of ceramic and tiles. Also this picture from during construction, and this one with the glazing. Yeah, and from this skyscraper in front of us, there was a picture where you can see also beginning of the graphic design of the signing on the left side and on the square. And this is the finished photo of the Zamet Center. As you can see, those stairs which are going from the upper side where the school is down towards towards the square. So that was the main feature of this urban idea of the project. And night vision, yeah, maybe for as an element how you lay down the tiles, that was a problem actually to solve with the same tiles the problem of laying down or how to put on the ground, how to put on the wall, and how to put on the roof, because you have different facts of everything actually of subconstruction of maintenance and everything else. Then there is a fence. Also, there is a section through this channel glazed roof construction and this U profiled glasses, double glazing. Um, yeah. mm, what else to show you? Yeah, of course, again, yeah, complete height of this double glazing because the production of this U glass are always limited. So that's why we need to figure it out how to make it in three parts. And that was interesting because there was for us there was also a game of lines, horizontal lines on the facade of the main hall, especially. And glazing again. This is signage, and this is kind of from above, but you cannot feel it like this from above of different coloring glazing people there. Um, yeah, this is also one interesting element they produce in the Italian ceramic. They produced also the stairs in one piece, so they're glued together because we wanted to have these elements, which are really difficult to achieve, but they did it really, really well. And yeah, some images of people going there around through, and of course some local greenery of the Mediterranean herbs and so on. Of course, kids love to do, some climbing up there, sliding down. There was a really, really interesting photos during this period of 10 years, and this became a really important square for the local peoples. Those photographs are from the beginning, but of course there is a carnival shows every year, biggest carnival show in the region, which is of course then the main event on the square. The hall is really used during the day, during the weeks, during the months, and as you can see here, you can see this perpendicular go through this kind of a tunnel or passage on the other way. And as you can see, this is different lights. This is a western light of the hall. Some other images, main garage, and then inside, as I told you, it's a little bit different than the other things because we wanted to achieve this familiarity, warm element of this concourse, because the hall can be open and you can just go on this upper level, middle level, and just watch what's happening down there, not participating at all into the event. And then when we finished, as you can see, this interior are much more warmer than this outer elements, and you can go around. There is a press, there is cafes. Now down there you can see on the stands which are completely closed. Yeah, main rooms, and you can see this light inside. Inside you don't need actually so much light during the day, because we completely hide all the installation units, air heating, ventilation, air conditioning, light elements, and also we used wood wool panels for acoustics. So this sports hall is really good in acoustics, and there is a lot of good concerts. This is the main hall, this really narrow band of hall, and you can see also graphic design, which we employ in every of our projects. We employ the very important graphic designers to solve the problem. This is this main entrance area of the main hall from the west side, uh, and you can also see this graphic design also going up to the cafe with the ceiling, and then you are on this concourse around and main entrance also to the hall, cafe which overlooks to the main square. And from the cafe, of course, on the other side, this is a salon which you can also watch your kids or whatever, or a sports event. This is the
Yeah, sorry.
yeah, yeah,
It is awesome how you connect the cafe with the outside and to the sports zone,
yeah.
right?
This is two photos actually, the same,
Yeah.
kind of elements. Yeah, yeah, that was an idea, because we always have a kid, parents which come to see the kids training, or whoever comes, and they can drink coffee, whatever, and overlook the kids. Also, you can go there on this kind of upper seats, which are just, they call it's VIP, but it's not. It's like a balcony around up there. And this is the photo, actually important photo, when the stands are completely closed, and as you can see, this all stands are from wood, and you can see this completely different atmosphere than outside. And this is the open stands. Also, the chairs are from retractable, but also it can be folded, and it's also from wood, banded plywood. as you can see here on the right side, a little bit closer. It's
They do
really
it.
sorry.
They do it for soccer because I think soccer is the most popular in.
Of course, it's a futsal here also. Handball is really popular. We were world champions also, and exactly now it's a world championship in European championship in our country of handball. But of course, football is really important, and futsal is something which you are playing always all the time there. Yeah, here you can see in this way this upper ceiling soundproof barriers and so on. um, yeah, some other images a little bit more. As you can see here, there is a daylight inside. You can see how much daylight comes into this the sports hall. Yeah, closed and open stands, as you can see here. Of course, some karate.
Oh, awesome!
um, yeah, it was some, I think, championship. Then this was handball, I think. And of course, this is what I was talking about, this concourse around. So you can go drink coffee, then come back and see a little bit the game, then go away, or you can go down to the stairs. That was important because during the day, people can go around and just go as a kind of a normal um, walk around. This concourse around and are elevated above the street, above the court, main court is really important. Yeah, there's some other areas, as you can see, those graphic design and furniture. This is the seats, which are, as I told you, this plywood, the wooden elements with this graphic signage. Now we are going to the next band, which in the same manner we did local library, which is very important for the neighborhood, and this is why that's really active and live for kids and for everybody else. And uh, and I'm just showing you this is application of the visual standards, which actually was really interesting because the guy who did this type font, typeface actually, he did the same thickness of line of the letters are used everywhere in every size. So if you are just signing tribunes or stands, also the name of the Zamet was done in the same thickness of the line, which is really special. For example, this exit sports hall, this stairs and dvorana on the right side are the same thickness of line, which is really interesting and really nice concept. He won awards for this graphic design. This was a garage, tribunes on the floor, application on the bare concrete walls. As you can see, there's slacionica means wardrobes, the numbers of the uh, wardrobes or changing rooms, yes. And this was the team. I mean, team with which did the projects. There was here is a 5 partners and 3 project leaders. We were really more involved in that for, I would say, 4 years altogether, and I think it was achieved really, we achieved really good success with that. We won actually some prizes for that whole. But for us, it was most important thing was that we did a project which actually serves community, and it's really a center. It's not a sports hall; it's a Zamet Center. And I think that's really important to say that when you're doing architecture as a public as this is a leisure, it's a free time, but also library and square and so on. It's really important to have acceptance of the neighborhood and the local people. So we are happy that this is actually achieved with this project on the end. Yeah, that's it.
Okay, thank you. That's awesome. Seeing all this project. By the way, you have answered all the question. We are very clearly. We know all the things about the design, the structure,
Hmm.
about the lining in the project. So
Hmm.
yeah, it's
Cool.
so
Thank you.
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. No problem. I would like to thank you for interest in that. We have a lot of other projects, and similar things, and really interesting, really special. A lot of we always proud to do the public projects because that's the purpose of architecture, I would say, to serve the public. And you can
Yeah,
go to our website 3lhd.com, and you can see a lot of this thing, a lot of films, which I think is also important to see the films of the projects. Yeah,
yeah. There's a curiosity for the students. They ask me, what about the use of the RAMs?
ceramics.
Yeah,
Yeah. Well, ceramics from the history of mankind are from Mesopotamia and some really old times, 5,000 years ago. There was a normal thing to use the ceramics or brick because it's a kind of and clay because that's earth material. It's very natural. And of course, nowadays a lot of people are using this ceramic tiles as a formal element. You can say also in our project that it can be called formal with this pentagrams and so on, but we actually use just a software to gain the one element which we repeated. But for us, it was important to use the ceramic, and it's called grès, and it's dust from the marble and from the stones, and of course together with the clay with the ingredients and glue, the ceramics are made well, plates of I would say I'm not sure if I remember the same size of the real size of the tiles, but actually we wanted to find some element which can be repeated, and that's this pentagram as we showed you. So there is no deeper meaning of this idea why pentagram. There is no inner, but when you go to the when you use mathematics and software and on those things, you always try to find patterns. For example, very simple thing, when we did the projects and then really end of the projects, I get a call from one a mathematician, and he said, okay, great, you use the Cairo pattern with this is five a pentagram with joining four of them into hexagram. And I said, Cairo, what? Because I didn't know that actually on the beginning. We knew that there is a pattern, but he said, no, no, that's famous in geometry. Then we researched a little bit more, and we find out that this pattern was used in Egypt and in Cairo. And so the ceramics are all over the world, and this is something I would say closest to the earth when you are toying. Of course, you can use some on some smaller projects this rammed earth or something like that, but we wanted to use ceramics because stone is was actually more expensive or concrete or something else. But in our projects, in our work, 3LHD, we are always using different things, and we are answering to the idea of the or concept of the idea, not that we like more ceramics than wood and so on. So if you're interested, you just go to our website and you'll see a lot of different materials and so on. Yeah.
yeah. Okay. So okay. Thank you for having this interview to knowing more about this important project, and I know that you will continue doing a similar or more interesting projects from this. And maybe in Europe, we never know.
Yeah.
And we have learned about much about it. And thank you. And we'll see in the future if we have another interview.
Yeah.
We don't know what can
Yeah.
happen, but
Thank you so much in interest, and I'm a professor. I'm also teaching locally in the city of Split in the School of Architecture, but also I'm at Cornell University in United States. So I'm long time professor, and so I know how it's important to learn, to educate people. And we are always doing, I'm always doing and willing to tell you everything about it. So because I am a professor of the practice or in the practice, it's for me easy to show somebody which is what important features you need for the learning architecture. And I think this is really good. What you are doing actually really good way to
thank you.
explain the project, because when one thing is ideas and concept, and when you have a realized project, then you can explain everything. from the idea to the materialization, and materialization of the projects are important things. So thank you
Okay.
again for your interest, and I'm available whenever you want. If you want some other projects, I'm available for you. Don't worry.
Yeah, we'll talk with some students and other people to
If they
watch
want,
the other
I'm
projects. And
available. Okay. Thank you so much. Yeah. See you.
yeah, thank you.
Yeah. See you.